guys, it's Josh here, PDJ number 141336, also known as the Pink Percolate, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Westside Discs video unveiling the Queen box. This is their marketing technique to get us all excited for this box coming out. It's fantastic, and we're going to take a look to see what kind of clues there are inside of this video and the image that was released also, because I think they're packed with Kalevala information that is really cool if you know the finished folklore. So let's take a look at the video and see what discs we think are going to be in the box. Right away, we get a good clue. Boom, paused it. What do you think that is? She's holding a black-rimmed Orbit Queen disc. There's our first clue. We got the Orbit Queen. Then, this one's kind of a giveaway. It's not too hard to depict what this image is going to be. That would be the maiden coming to the aid of the queen. And here's where things get really interesting. You see that the box itself is twisting, and here we go. That guy is dismembered. If you're familiar with the finished Kalevala, as you should be being a fan of Westside Discs, this image depicts Lemminkainen. You see, he's been dismembered, just like in the story. And in the story, before he was dismembered, he was trying to shoot with an arrow the swan. So there's a clue. There's also the clue that Lemminkainen was trying to kill the swan in order to gain the hand of the maiden in marriage. Boom, there's another maiden reference. So we've got an Orbit Queen, we've got a maiden, we've got Lemminkainen, who could be argued as being either a Northman or a Longbowman. We're starting to see a box come together from the clues in that video. But then we look at the still image, and this image gives us a bunch of clues, you guys. This image gives us a lot of information. If you zoom in on the queen, the very first thing that's noticeable is she is obviously holding a disc in her hands. But when you zoom in, and I encourage you to do this on the Westside Discs Instagram page, you can see very clearly she is holding a black-rimmed Orbit disc. This is pretty solid evidence that we will be getting an Orbit Queen in this box. Nice. But then there's something that is intriguing, and that is the two gentlemen standing behind her on her sides are completely different. One of them is wearing a suit of chainmail armor that pretty much replicates what we see the gatekeeper wearing on the image for the disc. Unfortunately, he has his hand on his sword and not on a halberd like in the disc, but this does seem to go hand in hand with what we have seen earlier in the video about Lemminkainen. Lemminkainen's body has been dismembered, and the river that it's floating down before his mother finds him and puts him back together is argued to be the river to the underworld. So we could potentially argue that there's an underworld in the box, but I don't believe so. I think this all still has to do with the gatekeeper guarding the gateway to the underworld. We have Lemminkainen's body that's been dismembered on his way to marry the maiden. And again, we know that from the story, he was out as a hunting party to try and kill the swan with an arrow. And unfortunately, he himself dies by the hand of the soon-to-be mother-in-law, the queen. We have the gentleman on the queen's right, our left in the image, holding something different, and he's in a completely different attire. He does not seem to be a knight at all. He does not have on the same kind of armor, and in his hand, or perhaps at his belt, you see a cord that has been tied in a knot-like fashion. And when we look at the Longbowman disc image, you see that he has the same corded belt dangling from him as the art depiction, which would still go in line with the story of Lemminkainen shooting the swan with a bow, the Longbowman. So we see an Orbit Queen, we possibly see a Longbowman, we possibly see a gatekeeper, and we definitely saw a maiden. There are 4 discs for you, and the 5th disc, I believe, goes in line with the story you see that would be a Northman. And the Northman fits into this based off of many clues that we see in the image, many clues in the video, and with the story of Lemminkainen, he would gain the hand of marriage and become a Northman, a husband to the wives of the North. So there we go. That's what I think is going to be in the box. The 5 discs that I think from the image and the storyline that I see going along in the video. I believe that we're going to definitely get an Orbit Queen. Yep. A Maiden. A Gatekeeper. A Northman. And a Longbowman. It is your 5 discs. Queen, Maiden, Gatekeeper, Northman, Longbowman. Now, of course, there are some discs that could be in there that I also see in that footage, like the Sorcerer could be in there. It's been a while since Westside's run the Sorcerer, and it would make sense that magic is what's turning the fortress around, so you could possibly get a Sorcerer, there could possibly be a Fortress, but I feel like the Fortress thing would be way too obvious. And then the last is there could possibly be an Underworld in there. Those are the 3 discs that I see as a potential maybe, kind of. There are some hints too, but I feel like it's the 5 discs there. The Orbit Queen, the Maiden, the Northman, the Longbowman, and the Gatekeeper. So thanks for watching this video. I'm Josh. Leave me a comment, like it, do the thing. It's YouTube, you know what to do. Thanks.